I want to say about something about being in charge of people, because I was gonna say this on an episode with Jason, but I didn't get a chance to. The whole Breonna Taylor thing, that was messed up on so many levels. The guy they wanted was already in jail. They went to the wrong address, and then they pulled the trigger. So who, like from being in the military, somebody's got to approve the mission, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like,
It's a whole chain of command.
I don't see anyone calling for their arrests. It's just the three officers, and I don't know who pulled the trigger, which of the three, or if all three did.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody's there because he's following orders, and he didn't pull the trigger, it's like, should he be arrested? Somebody sent him to the wrong place.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And so, when I was talking to you about your brother being level-headed, it's like, obviously not everything is like that complex, but at the same time, it's like, think, like, don't just shout the headline that you see. Because when you look at that case, it's like somebody had to, like, did those three officers just pick the wrong house on purpose? Like, I would very much doubt that she was an intentional target. So so somebody told them to go there because that's how, right in the military, so something, hey, you got to go here. Okay,
yeah,
so
because I'm sure they're given like, an address or orders to go to wherever, directions to go to wherever.
They're probably given an address and a picture of the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So they get to the place they think is, I don't even know what the original guy was in jail for.
I don't either.
But they have the picture. They break into the house. Break in, illegal anyways, but for cops it's legal apparently. They get in. They go into the house. Her boyfriend, I guess, started to shoot at them because they were breaking in. He didn't know who it was, and so they pulled the trigger. And all that happens like that. But if one of the cops doesn't pull the trigger, should he be arrested? In my opinion, no, because what chance do you have to stop the other two from pulling the trigger? From training, I'm sure you know from training in different scenarios when things happen. I see
exactly
so fast.
what you mean, because it's kind of like with situations like that, it kind of, and it's funny because I'm going to relate it to a show that is just like something completely different, but like it's kind of like I was watching Orange is the New Black, and it was like he told one of the CEOs to do something, and it attempted to get done, but clearly not correctly.
Right.
Like they were supposed to be, I think they were supposed to be like bringing in like a new person or whatever the case was, blah blah blah, and it didn't get done correctly. And it's just like, so who's really, you know what I'm saying, like at fault? Is it the guy that's at the tippy top that gave the order that didn't make sure that the order was enforced correctly,
or that the order,
or the people that
first place,
that carried out the order?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, I totally understand the whole, following orders. Don't think y'all got off easy. I understand following orders, but it's just like you can't. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's on. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's on both parties, because somebody didn't do the research to be like, is that even her address?
Mm-hmm.
Is that guy already been arrested? No. How, like, nobody thought to do that?
Yeah.
Because to me, the fact that she was an intentional target is like, I feel like that's not. I mean, I don't know, but also like that wouldn't make sense.
I don't know.
So somebody botched up the address, botched up the fact that the dude was already in jail, and then sent the officers there. So it's like you have the officers that are following incorrect orders, and then they act incorrectly already. So it's one of those things where, like, in a court of law, people were talking about how Chauvin should be charged with first-degree murder, and then people were like, don't do that because then they wouldn't have enough evidence to find him guilty of first-degree. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing. It's like you want justice to be served properly, but at the same time, you don't want to be calling for stuff that they didn't do. So if you try to charge all three of them with murder, and two of them didn't even shoot, they're not going to go to jail because they didn't murder anybody. It's like, and then it's like what holds up in the court. And
it gets so slippery when
exactly.
It gets really slippery when it has that, when you have all those different aspects in it, because it's so many people that, because you don't know what's going through. I think that's the worst part about all of these things, is you don't know what's going through the heads of these individuals when these things are happening.